Charlotte 911, do you need police, fire, or medic?
Medic, police.
Medic and police, hold on for medic.
Medic and County Fire, what's the address of your emergency?
It's the cookout on Sunset Road.
What's that address?
I'm not sure the address. Somebody just got shot inside the building.
Okay. Okay. I'll stay on the line, medic, whenever you're done.
All right. And you said someone was...
Somebody just got killed somebody inside the building. I don't know if it's killing her or not. I'm in the bathroom. You think about it.
Okay.
Okay, I do see that they did arrive, okay?
They arrived.
Yes, I do see that they arrived.
You think those? Do you think, or did they arrive?
I am showing that they arrived.
All right, they arrived.
They just arrived.
5 gunshots. That's all it took to shatter the silence of a Charlotte morning. Inside a cookout restaurant on Sunset Road, chaos broke out just before dawn. On the floor lay 26-year-old mother Jaselyn Horne, bleeding from multiple wounds. Her co-workers stood frozen, powerless. The shooter, a co-worker she had shared shifts with. The motive? Not money, not jealousy, not a robbery gone wrong. Just a dirty pan.
Jaselyn Horne died early Sunday morning after being shot several times at a cookout in Northwest Charlotte. This happened at the location on Sunset Road. No word on what led up to that shooting or if police have a lead on any suspects.
Sometimes it's okay to be the villain in the made-up story that these people got going on in their mind. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm okay. I'm okay that in your story, I'm the villain. Because you the clown in mine. A whole clown.
It was the early hours of March 17th, 2024. What began as a simple cleaning dispute between 2 fast food workers escalated into cold-blooded violence. A young mother who clocked in that night to earn a paycheck would never clock out again. This is not a domestic violence case. This was not drug-related. This wasn't about gang ties or revenge. It was something far more disturbing because it was ordinary. A workplace argument, something millions of people experience every day. But on this night, it turned deadly. How does a disagreement about cleaning dishes end with 5 bullets fired in anger? Why was there a gun inside that restaurant at all? And what transforms an ordinary co-worker into a killer? Welcome to Unraveled Crime. If you're new here, kindly support us by subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss stories like this one. Now let's step into Charlotte, North Carolina, and into the final night of Jaselyn Horne's life. Jaselyn wasn't just another statistic. She was a daughter, a friend, a mother. Her life revolved around one thing, her 5-year-old son, 7. Her father, John Horne, described her as a provider in every sense of the word. "That's my firstborn," he told reporters. She was an excellent provider. Friends and family knew her beyond the headlines. She wasn't just clocking into shifts to survive. She had a creative gift. Through her side business, Beauty by Jay, Jaselyn built a loyal clientele. She braided, she styled locks, she did sew-ins. Her social media was filled with photos of happy clients and beautiful designs. Her passion was clear, her talent undeniable. But raising a child isn't cheap. And in late 2023, Jaselyn took a second job at Cookout on Sunset Road. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy, but the late-night hours meant extra income. Income she used to keep food on the table, to pay bills, to secure a future for her son. Her co-workers described her as the light of the night shift, always singing to pass the time, always offering rides home so others could feel safe. "She's a very cool person," one co-worker, Qua Hayes, remembered. "Loving. In my eyes, she couldn't do nothing wrong." But no amount of kindness or joy could shield her from what would come next. The cookout on Sunset Road was open 24 hours a day. By 4:30 a.m., the kitchen had closed for the night. Only a few workers remained inside, finishing the final cleanup. It should have been a routine end to another long shift, but tensions were building. Some dishes were left dirty, words were exchanged, an argument started. But instead of cooling down, things escalated. Her co-worker, the man who would later be arrested for her murder, pulled out a gun, a weapon he had no reason to bring into work. And in a matter of seconds, 5 shots rang out. Jaselyn fell to the floor. her life slipping away before anyone could help, and her son, just 5 years old, would wake up that morning without a mother. The question now is, how does something so small, a workplace dispute, spiral into murder? Could this happen anywhere? Could it happen where you work? And what justice, if any, awaits the man who pulled the trigger? This is the story of Jaselyn Horne, a young mother, a provider, a woman taken from her family over something so ordinary, it's almost unthinkable. 5 employees clocked in that night. 5 ordinary workers pulling the late shift at a Charlotte cookout. By sunrise, only 4 would walk out alive. They weren't just co-workers. They had become like family. Overnight shifts will do that. Long hours, small teams, inside jokes that carry you through exhaustion. One employee later told detectives, "We all worked together so much we practically considered each other family." The restaurant had rules, strict ones. One of the most important, no weapons. Employees weren't supposed to bring anything dangerous inside. But rules mean nothing if someone chooses to break them. And on March 17th, 2024, that policy would fail in the most tragic way. At the center of the storm were 2 employees, Jaselyn Horne and Malik Crosby. Jaselyn, 26, a devoted mother. Malik, just 20, a reliable worker who had never raised concern. No criminal record, no history of violence. By all accounts, he was easygoing. Co-worker Kershara McNair summed it up perfectly. This is really unforeseen. Both of them were really great people. That night began like so many others. Light-hearted conversation, playful banter that made the late hours bearable. Even exhaustion couldn't kill the camaraderie. Everybody was in a good mood that night, recalled co-worker Ace Bryant, who had worked alongside both Jaselyn and Malik for months. He shook his head when interviewed later. "I would have never expected to wake up to this." But beneath the laughter, something was brewing. Something small, something ordinary. A fight about chores. The cookout kitchen closed around 4:30 a.m. The last customers left. The dining room grew quiet. It was time for closing duties. Floors needed mopping. Counters had to be wiped down. Food needed storage. On any other night, the routine was familiar, but on this night, it unraveled. According to court documents, Jaselyn and Malik had been clashing throughout the shift. The issue? Cleaning responsibilities. Who should do what? Who should finish which task? Petty disputes. The kind that usually burn out quickly. But this one didn't. It lingered. It grew sharper with every word exchanged. By 5 a.m., tension filled the air. Voices were raised. Frustrations spilled out. Other employees noticed but didn't step in. Arguments happened all the time. Nobody thought it would turn violent. They were wrong. The critical moment came fast. Malik cursed at Jaselyn. The words stung. And this time, Jaselyn didn't stay silent. She snapped. In a burst of anger, she grabbed a pan. It flew across the kitchen, striking Malik in the face. The noise echoed against the stainless steel. The mood changed instantly. Malik's response was chilling. Without hesitation, he reached for a concealed weapon, a gun no one knew he had. And then, 5 shots. The sound tore through the empty restaurant, gunfire that would leave scars on everyone in the room. Jaselyn collapsed. 5 bullets had struck her. Her co-workers screamed. Some froze, others ran. Employee Qua Hayes described the chaos. "I kind of grabbed my manager," he said, "brought him to safety. Next thing I know, it was me, my manager, and another co-worker pinned in the bathroom in silence." They locked the door, terrified, shaking, listening for footsteps, the smell of gunpowder still hanging in the air. From behind that locked door, one worker made a desperate call to 911, their voices shaking as they described the unthinkable. A workplace turned into a crime scene, a beloved co-worker bleeding on the floor, a gunman still inside.
Start the 911. Do you need police, fire, or medic?
Medic, police.
Medic and police. Hold on for medic.
Medic and County Fire, what's the address of your emergency?
It's the cookout on Sunset Road.
What's that address?
I'm not sure the address. Somebody just got shot inside the building.
Please, are you on the line?
I'm on the line, yes. I'm trying to get it as well.
I see Sunset.
Pulling up Sunset in Hamilton. Okay.
Together.
Okay. Okay. And I'll stay on the line, medic, whenever you're done.
All right. And you said someone was.
Somebody got killed somebody inside the building. I don't know if they're killing her or not. I'm in the bathroom. What do you think about it?
Okay. Please, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay. Where are you right now?
I don't know. They outside. I'm in the bathroom.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
What is the subject name?
I'm not sure. Man. They just shot right in front of my face. I ran to the bathroom.
What is
I'm not sure.
Okay, what is he wearing? What's he... Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
The police is asking you some questions.
We need.
I'm not hearing the question. Somebody just got killed at the cookout.
I understand, but we're trying to get assistance, right? So, who is the subject? Who was the person that shot that
It's a
individual?
female.
The female
Female
in the
that got
shooting?
shot.
And okay,
No,
and
female got shot.
right, but we're the police department, and we need to know who shot the female. What is his name?
Male.
What's his
The
name?
male.
A black male, white
The male.
male.
Light female. White female.
Are you saying black, light skinned male?
Yes. Black female.
What is he wearing?
Black jeans and black jacket. Yes. Yes.
And the female, is she black, white, and Asian?
What?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
And where was she shot?
I'm not sure. You speak for them?
Who's in there with you?
My manager. Me and my coworker, my manager.
So there's two people inside of the bathroom with you right now?
The what?
I said there's two people inside the bathroom with you right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely.
Did you please send somebody?
We're over. I've already dispatched, or excuse me, I've already added a call for service, and you're going to have someone like that to the location as soon as possible. You still have information that she said the female. Do you know where she was shot?
I see where she was shot. I'm not even sure she alive. The one
How many times was she shot?
you got like 3 times. I'm not sure she okay.
Do you know if there were any drugs or alcohol involved? Anyone?
No. No.
I'm still
And then, do you know if it still within the establishment, or do you know if he left?
I don't know. No,
Okay. Do you know about her approximately how old the subject is?
no.
Do you know what type of vehicle he has? The subject?
Sure what?
Do you know the type of vehicle for the subject?
He doesn't have a car. Yeah.
Can you hear them still inside of the restaurant, sir?
You know, I'm not sure.
That's all the questions I have, medic.
Could you let me know if somebody got outside?
I don't have any more questions, but if you just damage.
And you guys are locked in the bathroom?
Is the police?
No, sir, they're not there yet, but they have been dispatched.
They're not here. Somebody's on the door. Somebody's knocking on the door.
Yeah, I'm only showing that they've been dispatched. Give me one moment. Okay, I do see that they did arrive, okay?
They arrived?
Yes, I do see that they arrived.
You think that was, do you think, or did they arrive?
I am showing that they arrived.
All right, they're
They just arrived.
In just seconds, a family-like bond between 5 employees was shattered forever. What began as routine closing duties ended in unspeakable violence. And the question remains, how does a dirty pan end in death? And why did a young man with no violent past carry a gun into work that night? The answers would shock an entire city and leave one little boy without his mother. You saw how a simple argument spiraled into tragedy. One pan, one moment of anger, and 5 bullets that ended a young mother's life. But here's the question we have to wrestle with. Was Jaselyn justified in defending herself with that pan? Or did she cross a line, one that she could never come back from? Tell me what you think in the comments below. When police arrived, the scene was already soaked in grief. Jaselyn lay unresponsive on the restaurant floor. Her co-workers, still shaking from shock, slowly emerged from the bathroom where they had hidden. Medic rushed inside, but their efforts came too late. Jaselyn was pronounced dead where she fell. The reality hit them like a second wave of violence. Their friend was gone, a young mother's life cut short, and the person responsible, one of their own, had fled into the night. So many of you watch stories like this, but don't subscribe. You think maybe you'll just watch one video, hear one story, and move on. But we tell these stories because they matter, because victims deserve to be remembered. Your like, your comment, your subscription, it keeps these stories alive. So please, if you haven't already, support us by subscribing to the channel. As dawn broke over Charlotte that Sunday morning, the cookout restaurant no longer looked like a place for late-night meals. It was now a crime scene. Yellow police tape stretched around the building. Investigators in gloves moved in and out, gathering shell casings, photographing bloodstains, and reviewing security footage. Detectives from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department's homicide unit wasted no time. They interviewed the terrified employees who had survived by locking themselves in the bathroom. Each detail painted the same chilling picture, a routine workplace argument that had exploded into murder. A crucial lead came from something simple: employee time cards. Every worker on the schedule that night had clocked in. Every worker was present when police arrived. Every worker except one: Malik Crosby. By Monday morning, March 18th, police had their suspect in sight. The violent criminal apprehension team tracked Malik down. He was arrested and taken to the law enforcement center for questioning, then transferred to the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office, where he was charged with murder. A young man with no history of violence now faced the rest of his life behind bars. And a little boy had lost his mother forever. Outside the restaurant, grief poured into the parking lot. A small memorial began to grow, candles flickering in the night, flowers placed against the building, photos of Jaselyn smiling with her son. Strangers came, co-workers came, family came. People who didn't even know her felt compelled to show up, to pay their respects. Her father, John Horne, spoke of the devastating loss. The words caught in his throat as he tried to explain the unexplainable. Most heartbreaking of all was his grandson, 7, just 5 years old, too young to grasp what had happened. "He doesn't even understand what's going on right now," John said. Days later, the community gathered in the parking lot for a candlelight vigil and balloon release. More than 50 family members and friends stood shoulder to shoulder, holding candles in silence. When the balloons lifted into the night sky, tears streamed down faces. The grief was heavy, but so was the love. One family member spoke. "It means a lot to me, because I know it would mean a lot to her to see everybody out here that loved Jaselyn." Another added, "She was a beautiful person. She was a great mom. She was very much loved." The vigil wasn't just for Jaselyn. It became a cry for change. A family spokesperson stepped forward, voice breaking but firm. "This happens to so many, but let's use this one right here as a beacon for this city to understand that God is in control. Enough is enough. This violence, this gun violence, this killing, it makes no sense." And so I'll leave you with this question. What's one practical step workplaces should implement to prevent conflicts from escalating into violence? Drop your solution in the comments, because maybe, just maybe, your idea could save a life.
Shot inside the building.
As calls for help went out, emergency crews came pouring in, but aid simply came too late for one of the workers inside. Jaselyn Horne suffered fatal gunshot wounds in the pre-dawn hours on Sunday morning, allegedly at the hands of her co-worker.
I just did not see this coming at all.
Kashara McNair works at the cookout and tells me she knew both the victim as well as the alleged gunman and says none of what happened makes any sense.
Really well. Both of them was very great people, so this is really foreseeing. Everybody, but everybody, get to that point where they can't take it anymore, I guess.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg police say a workplace argument led to the homicide when the suspect pulled a gun and allegedly shot Jaselyn Horne while the two worked together at this cookout on Sunset Road. Horne died on the scene. Crosby was later arrested and charged with that homicide. Wednesday evening, a small memorial was placed out in front of the scene of the shooting, an honor to the victim, but a painful reminder to those left behind.
We just been going through a hard time.
Evidence Bryant worked with Horne and Crosby for several months and was there just hours before the shooting.
Everybody was in a good mood that night. I would have never expected to wake up to this.
Employees tell me the store has a no weapons policy, so the suspect shouldn't have been carrying a firearm that morning. Despite what happened, employees tell me everyone involved were good people caught in a situation that simply went out of control.
I'm praying for both families. I'm praying for Jaz's son. Hope he's doing well. He find peace.
The killing of Jaselyn Horne shocked Charlotte, but the story didn't end at the cookout that night. It shifted into a courtroom where Malik Crosby would face the full weight of the law. Malik was charged with first-degree murder, a capital offense in North Carolina. The stakes couldn't be higher. If convicted, he faced life in prison without the possibility of parole, or even the death penalty. His first court appearance came on April 8, 2024. It was short. It was cold. The judge denied bond. Malik would remain behind bars in the Mecklenburg County Jail as his case slowly moved through the system. Behind closed doors, prosecutors and defense attorneys argued over one key question. Was this premeditated murder or a crime of passion? Under North Carolina law, the difference is critical. First-degree murder requires willful, deliberate, premeditated intent. Voluntary manslaughter, on the other hand, recognizes an intentional killing in the heat of the moment, fueled by extreme emotional distress, but without prior planning. Which one was this? The events of that night told a complicated story. There was the argument, the pan, the insult, the blow to Malik's face, and then his immediate, deadly reaction. Was he waiting for a chance to pull the trigger, or did he snap in a moment of rage? These questions set the stage for a plea deal. On October 24, 2024, Malik stood in court once again, but this time he didn't fight. He pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter. The judge sentenced him to 51 to 74 months in prison, roughly 4 to 6 years. He received credit for the 221 days he had already served awaiting trial. A young man who once had no criminal record would now spend years behind bars, and a family who had already lost their daughter would have to accept a sentence many believed was too light. But what happened next silenced the courtroom. During sentencing, John Horne, Jaselyn's father, stood to speak. All eyes turned toward him. Surely this was the moment for anger, for outrage, for a father to demand the harshest punishment possible. Instead, he stunned everyone. "The family forgives him," John said simply. Then he continued with a message that echoed far beyond the courtroom. "We got to stop killing each other. We need to stop it." It was forgiveness, not vengeance. Compassion in the middle of devastation. That act of grace shifted the narrative, from punishment to healing, from revenge to reflection. Legally, the resolution meant the state classified this tragedy as a crime of passion, not premeditated murder. The sentence acknowledged the impulsive nature of Malik's actions while still holding him accountable. But for Jaselyn's family, the label didn't matter as much as the reality. Her life was gone. And what does this case tell us? That workplace conflict isn't always just about words. Sometimes it escalates. Sometimes it turns deadly. This isn't an isolated story. Just days later, in Michigan, a McDonald's worker stabbed her manager during an argument. Every day across America, conflicts brew in restaurants, offices, warehouses, and stores. Most end in compromise, or maybe someone walks away. At worst, they quit their job, but sometimes, like in Charlotte, things spiral out of control. Psychologists warn that late-night shifts create the perfect storm for conflict. Sleep deprivation weakens judgment. Stress piles up. The brain, exhausted, struggles to regulate emotion. Arguments that might have fizzled in daylight instead ignite into fire. The escalation in Charlotte followed a familiar path. Step 1, verbal disagreement. Step 2, verbal aggression. Step 3, physical contact. And Step 4, a gun. When you add access to a weapon, the danger skyrockets. And that's what turned an argument about cleaning pans into the death of a young mother. So now, I'll turn the question over to you. Do you think justice was served with a 4 to 6 year sentence? Or should Malik have faced the original first-degree murder charge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because in the end, justice is not only defined in a courtroom, it's defined in how we, as a society, respond. Malik cursing at Jaselyn, then physical aggression, Jaselyn throwing the pan, and finally, lethal violence. Malik pulling the trigger. Each step was an opportunity for de-escalation, but none came. The gun transformed what could have been a workplace write-up into a homicide. Without the weapon, the conflict might have ended with a thrown pan, maybe a suspension, but not death. This case reminds us that even people with no violent history can cross the line when pushed past their breaking point. Malik had no criminal record. By all accounts, he was a steady worker until that one irreversible decision. And Jaselyn Horne? She walked into work that night as a mother, a hairstylist, a provider. She never walked back out. Her 5-year-old son now grows up without his mum. Her family mourns while finding the strength to forgive. Her co-workers carry the trauma of watching laughter turn into gunfire. And the cookout on Sunset Road? It still stands. New employees take orders there, while many customers remain unaware of what happened in the quiet hours of that Sunday morning. The lesson is painfully clear. Minor conflicts can escalate into deadly tragedies in seconds. The line between words and violence is thinner than we think, especially when weapons are involved. At Malik's sentencing, Jaselyn's father stood and said words that should echo beyond that courtroom. "We've got to stop killing each other. We need to stop it." His choice to forgive instead of fueling hatred challenges us all. But the question remains, if it were you, could you have forgiven? Or would you have demanded a different kind of justice? Be honest with yourself and share your thoughts in the comments. If this story moved you, take a moment to reflect on how quickly conflict can turn to tragedy. A simple choice, to walk away, to de-escalate, or to forgive, can change everything. We'd love your support. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Together, we can keep these stories alive and learn lessons that might one day save a life. We'll be back with another vital case, right here on Unraveled Crime.